We welcome you to the beautiful DE Turf Complex in Frederica, Delaware. This is the American Select Lacrosse Championship game for the class of 2023. We've got Connecticut and Massachusetts left standing in this class of rising high school seniors here in this summer event. And with that, we welcome you alongside Tracy Weiner. I am Travis Eldridge. Tracy, we've got a terrific day of lacrosse on tap here. The championship games here from American Select Lacrosse. We've got the best players from each of these regions across 4 different age groups. This is going to be a ton of fun.
It's been so much fun all week just to be a part of it. But for me, these kids have so much fun just representing their regions, representing the area that they, have grown up in. And to find the best players and champions in the country today is an exciting way to end the summer.
So these 2 teams, the last 2 left standing here in the class of 2023. Tracy, you've been part of this event throughout this week. It started with some individual skills stuff early on in the week, and it continued with group play before here finally getting to the knockout round over the last couple of days.
Absolutely, and the combine was amazing. We had, the top coaches were there working with the kids, and that's a special part of this event, is that the college coaches actually get, some hands-on experience with these athletes, and the athletes get to know the college coaches as well. It's just so much fun, and maybe looking up to the person that maybe you're going to play for, in your future. And when we look at these rosters today, Trav, in this age group, look where these kids are committed to. I mean, this is a star-studded final we have going on here right now.
Yeah, you see the starting goalie here for Connecticut, Rebecca Arpano, who's committed to Harvard. She gets the start for Connecticut in the white uniforms. On the other end, it's Riley Harrington getting the start for Massachusetts. She is committed to Quinnipiac University. So a couple of goalies that we'll see play at the next level in a couple of years, but they will be on display here today on LSN as we're about set for the opening draw here in this class of 2023 championship game. Massachusetts in the royal blue uniforms. Has got a whistle on the opening draw. It'll be Connecticut. It'll get it first.
The draw is such an important part of our game, and if Connecticut can establish themselves as winning most of these draws as this game goes on, they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough to beat in general, but the Massachusetts team is stacked as well.
And they caused a turnover here early on, and they'll look to go for their first offensive set. Good pressure here by Connecticut, as bringing it in is Lucy Davis.
We'll see everybody just in a basic man-to-man defense here, matching up. You'll see some teams play a zone, Trav, some teams go man-to-man. Just depends on what they're comfortable with and how well they know their teammates when you pick the defenses in a tournament like this.
This is Annie O'Keefe. Or excuse me, that's Fiona O'Keefe, number 16. Her sister Annie, number 15. Ava Connaughton trying to get that hand free. Now Lil Hancock.
Great patience to start this game so far.
Amante. Good defense there by Connecticut, collapsing in. Trying to get that left hand free. She does. Shot deflected. Might have been a save there by Arpano. Ball's loose behind the cage. And Massachusetts keeps it.
The second chance opportunities usually lead to good things for the offense. Let's see how this plays out here. As a defender, you just want to make that one big stop and then get it out of my zone instead of giving a chance for the offense to reset.
And especially no shot clock can really
Correct.
Create long offensive sets.
Absolutely. And, unlike what we've just been watching the last week in the sixes match, this is full field, regular lacrosse, high school rules.
O'Keefe beats her defender, but a save by Arpano. Went low. However, another rebound here for Massachusetts.
Those are 2 great saves by Arpano to start the game. If she's dialed in, it's going to be really difficult for Massachusetts to get through.
Save there on the far side by Lucy Davis. She keeps it in. So a couple of good chances for Massachusetts, but as you mentioned, Arpano up to the challenge.
Nice and early up to the challenge.
Yeah. These two teams played in the semifinals at 8 a.m. as Arpano watches that one go wide. However, Connaughton is there for the rebound.
Yeah, it's Iron Women Lacrosse for sure.
That one wide. Tracking it down here in the corner is Connecticut. Good hustle play by Kate DeMarc.
And look at Kate's stick work for a defender. I mean, this is a beautiful thing. Speed and some stick work, you know, for a defender. No wonder why she's getting to go to UVA.
Yeah, out of Darien, Connecticut, committed to Virginia.
If you're a high school player and you're wondering what the colleges are looking for, you just saw it.
Yes.
You know, a defender that can be a lockdown, can get a 50-50 ground ball and then push it upfield safely to transition into offense.
So our first look at this Connecticut offense is Kaylee Somers. She gets a shot off, a whistle before the shot. And looks like she'll get a free position look here from the far side hash.
She will get a free position. This is their first opportunity, so let's see what happens. You know, you had several opportunities on the other end, and now all of a sudden, you know, Connecticut gets their first opportunity to go to goal.
Somers just a little high, but kept in here for Connecticut, and they'll keep possession. This is Chloe Humphrey, University of North Carolina commit. Laser, and she goes top shelf.
Holy cow. That was a bullet. And I don't even think anybody was expecting that. She was well covered. You can't even blame the defender on that one because Humphrey was well covered, but just a better, you know, just when your hands are free and you can shoot like Charlotte North style, that's hard to defend at any level. I don't care what grade you're in. Watch here. Her hands are free for what? 3 seconds, Trav? And a laser. There's the defender, makes contact. She takes a step back, frees her hands, and picks corner. Like, that's unreal.
Yeah, that is absolutely filthy. That'll make Jenny Levy smile, knowing she's got...
Jenny Levy has so much to smile about lately.
For sure.
I'll tell you what.
Coming off an undefeated national championship season, and the hits keep on coming.
They do, and, you know, for those of you that might not realize it, Jenny has a daughter that plays in the Maryland team, the 25, in this tournament. She is so talented as well. So the future is bright for the Levy family.
Good hustle play there off the draw. Gives it to Connecticut. And they'll get another look. Here's Stella Nolan bringing it into the attacking area. Nolan, Michigan commit.
That's a fun place to go to college.
Yeah, I'd say. Strong take and a rollback and a score. Colette Quinn, who's committed to Princeton, gets one to go. It's 2-0.
When you look at this shot, I think what people need to understand, and you know, I coach a team, obviously, in my club group, and I always say that high to high is the devil. And I'm going to tell you why. You look at this shot, the only thing that the goalie can't see in this kind of traffic is a low shot. Look at all the legs in the way. Look at all, you know, the players. She can barely get into position to stop that. If that's a high-to-high shot, she can see it the whole way coming through. So anytime you're around the crease, you really should always try to go low, in my opinion.
That was an impressive move through traffic.
It sure was. And again, this Connecticut team, anytime their hands are free trap, they're going right to goal.
A draw here for Massachusetts. They'll look to get on the board. Had a couple of good looks, but so far haven't been able to solve the problem of getting it by Rebecca Arpano in goal.
No, she's been great so far. I mean, a stone wall. Really giving that defense some confidence to be a little more aggressive.
This is Kella McGrail. Turned back. McGrail committed to Davidson down there in North Carolina. They had a strong season in the Atlantic 10 this past year.
Great academic school. I mean, all these schools have their pluses, you know, I'll tell you that. But some schools, you know, are just the perfect fit for a player. And I always tell them, you're going to go somewhere. It's just a matter of where is the perfect fit for you. Everybody gets so stressed, Trav, over the whole recruiting process.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these players have to be relieved to have a chance to play this summer and have a little bit of the pressure off, having known you're committed somewhere.
It's a lot of pressure, believe it or not. And the kids feel it. You try to tell them all the time not to worry, but they do.
There's Isabel Laha. She's committed to Syracuse.
Great season for them under their new head coach, Kayla Trainer, one of my favorite people.
Opportunity here for her. Ball on the turf, still loose in between all sorts of jerseys, and it's Connecticut who comes up with it. Nice ground ball.
That's great. I think you'll see, Travis, when we look at the stats, that Connecticut has won, a majority of the draws so far and a majority of the 50-50 ground balls. And that always equates to positive, at the end of the game. Here's an unforced turnover, though.
So we're back the other way for Massachusetts. Turning on the Jets, there is number 22, Katie Wolin, committed to Bucknell, and she gets it into the attacking area.
This is a good possession right here for Massachusetts. What they need to do is be patient and figure out a way to get one past, Arpino, who's just been on fire.
25-minute running time halves. About 10 minutes into this game, 2-0 Connecticut here in the class of 2023. Trying to look inside. That's a great look. Did it go?
And
I think it did. What a finish through traffic for the Syracuse commit. And it's 2-1.
That is a great move. Oh, look, that's a nice dish. Holy cow. In traffic and just, it's interesting to see if the foul came before the shot, because if it did, then it'll just be a goal. But sometimes they give possession on those, but it looks like they are going to go back to a draw.
Give the assist to Annie O'Keefe on the goal by Isabel. It's a really pretty feed from the Dartmouth commit.
Being able to catch a ball like that in traffic while the defender's on you and still being able to finish, that just tells you exactly who you are as an attacker.
Nice draw. Chloe Humphrey went up and got that one-handed.
Yeah, that's going to be a yellow card. It's going to be for a check to the head as she came down. Everybody went up one-handed for it. And then you'll see that when, I believe it was Cameron Trevice, when she came down, she clipped the top of the head. So that's an automatic yellow.
So, player-up situation here for Connecticut. Stella Nolan. Wide open, Humphrey! You cannot let her step down like that. She's got her second of this first half.
That was a bullet. That was a laser shot. Holy cow. I mean, she just got everything into that. When you show us the replay, look at the form on Chloe Humphrey here. Look how her body, just gets behind the shot. You see the transfer of weight into the shot because she had so much space. 1, 2, and boy, oh boy, she just unload.
Yeah, that is, you can't let her step down wide open, hands free like that. She will make you pay just about every time.
And rightfully so. I mean, you're going to leave her that open, she's going to take advantage of it.
I do think, Tracy, that you see the Charlotte North effects throughout some of these different age groups in high school and middle school now. Like, those shots, they want to wind up, fire. It's not drive in and see if you can get a little closer. It's, hey, I can score from distance.
That's correct. And it's the design of the sticks.
Yep.
And also these young ladies have been playing since, I don't know, 2nd, 3rd grade. Back 10, 15 years ago, most kids weren't picking up their sticks until 5th or 6th grade. These girls all have 4 to 5 years of early, childhood lacrosse. And then they go right into the club circuit where it's basically year round if you want it to be.
There's a save inside. Nice stop by Riley Harrington, and Massachusetts collects the rebound. Here's Lil Hancock. Ball loose in the midfield. Connecticut there for the ground ball.
Yeah, Massachusetts having a little trouble with Connecticut's ride.
A lot of these players play on the Connecticut Grizzlies club program, so a lot of them, despite the fact this is a regional team, very familiar with each other between club ball, high school, a lot of connections.
Correct. And, you know, a lot of them play for, obviously, Lisa Lindley, you know, who is one of the best coaches in the country for her high school team at Darien, and they get to have her all year round. Like, that has to be a tremendous bonus.
Here's Humphrey again, drives all the way in, but matched by Riley Harrington for the stop.
Yeah, she drove all the way in, didn't give herself much of an angle on that one, Travis, so, you know, obviously able just to go stick to stick on that and then shut her down.
Catherine Wilson showcasing the Jets. She brings it across midfield, and Massachusetts will get an offensive set. Settle it down here. Here's Juliet Pearsall. Looks inside. Behind the back finish.
Ooh.
That was beautiful. Fiona O'Keefe goes BTB for Massachusetts' second goal of the day.
So pretty. You know, when you see this, again, and you think this is not a show-off play, that's the only, here's the pass, and that's the only shot you could get off. So that's just our next level skill. That is the correct shot at the correct moment. Not a show-off play, nobody get all crazy about it, but the defenders were closing in on her, and that was the only shot she had.
Back here at the DE Turf Complex in Frederick, Delaware, Travis Eldridge and Tracy Weiner back with you. Massachusetts getting one back here in this class of 2023 championship game of the American Select Lacrosse Tournament. Making it 3-2 here as we're back to the draw circle coming out of the timeout.
So crazy about the sport of lacrosse, right? It looks like Connecticut's dominating this game until you look at the scoreboard. So if I'm Massachusetts, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know, we're 12 and a half minutes into this first half, and we're right where we need to be.
Yeah, I mean, both goalies. First, it was Rebecca Arpano for Connecticut, who stopped a bunch of opportunities early for Massachusetts. And here in the last couple of minutes, Riley Harrington with a couple of nice saves to stop Connecticut's run.
Absolutely. You know, goalie play is so crucial in a tournament such as this because you can't get behind with running time on the clocks, and, you know, there's just no way to make a comeback, no timeouts, nothing like that.
Molly Driscoll, the Boston College commit, wins that draw for Massachusetts. They have a chance to pull back even here at 3 apiece. It's Allie Patron. Now Kella McGrail across the top of the box. An all New England final here in the class of 2023.
I look around and I think that these kids are going to be playing against each other in some way, shape, or form for the next 6 years. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is Driscoll.
5 years.
BC commit trying to feed inside. Little wide, but loose ball. And it's tracked down by Massachusetts. I mean, you look at that draw, and it was Chloe Humphrey versus Molly Driscoll, a couple of soon-to-be ACC rivals.
Correct. Absolutely. You know, and it's so fun. 5 years from now, they're going to be talking about that. You beat me in American Select, but I'm going to win a national championship.
Nice little hitch move, and Annie O'Keefe gets on the board. She had an assist earlier. Now she's got a goal, and we're tied at 3.
Nice move by O'Keefe. She goes, you know, again, in college, that's going to be a little different when you're doing a crease roll there because the defenders are allowed to run through the crease in college. They are not allowed in high school. So when you're in high school, you can still use that crease almost as a pick, because once you beat the defender to the spot, you see right here, she can't run through, so they have to take the long route. The defender has to take, I call it the scenic route, and it just gives a smart attacker a half a second more to have her hands free.
You hit on that, Tracy, and I wonder, as obviously we've talked a lot about the rules every offseason, I wonder, would you like to see more continuity between the high school and college game?
Trav, you know me better than anybody. You've had me on your show. You and I could do a whole segment on the unfortunateness of not preparing these young ladies for college by not having the rules be consistent. I think it's a great disservice to the athletes.
Yeah, we were talking about it this week on the Lacrosse Now podcast, and it's the women's college game has evolved so quickly.
Correct.
That maybe sometimes you kind of got to let high school try to catch up a bit so that everybody can get on the same page. Because obviously high school, there's so many teams to deal with and so many different areas. A little bit tougher to cause broad change.
I guess, but if it's our role as high school coaches to prepare our kids for the next level, we can't do that if the rules are not consistent. My own daughter played in college, and she redshirted her freshman year as a defender because she said, Mom, the rules are just so different, and, I needed to learn.
Massachusetts back on the attack here with around 7 minutes to go in this first half. What a game we have here so far. Where Connecticut both these teams already played close ones in the semifinals this morning. Connecticut winning 9-8 over New Jersey, while Massachusetts beat Pennsylvania 7-5.
When you get the best of the best, the margin of error is slim and the margin of win is slim.
Yeah, we've seen that throughout.
These girls are used to it, though, and if you're going to play in the ACC or the Big Ten in college, you better get used to those kind of games. Every game is going to be a battle, and it's going to be, probably a 1 or 2 goal game.
For sure. Zanny O'Keefe, who sends it behind. Alexa Kenny feeds. It's kept alive here by O'Keefe. Flip for Driscoll. Trying to get something going here from X.
Yep, that's obstructed shooting space, but it's going to be, goal line extended. So it's not really, it is a benefit, but it's not. But if you watch here, if you're watching Massachusetts offense, you see they're running everything through X, and they're playing a 2-man game. So I'm curious when Connecticut's going to drop as soon as they put those 2 behind. That's a charge. And I'm sorry, and start to pressure ball more. But on that play, so the defense had perfect position, Trav. You can't bully your way through a defender that's got good, solid position.
Going the other way. Strong defense by Connecticut. Little set up there, clear. Casey Benoit, another Syracuse commit.
The speed on these kids. Holy cow.
She goes end-to-end. Here's an opportunity in transition. Feed a little low, picked up here by Massachusetts.
Yep, 1 pass too many. Stella Nolan probably should have unleashed a shot on that one.
Massachusetts coming back the other way. 2-on-1 break. Had it stripped, and we've got a whistle. Let's see. Looks like a free position coming here for Massachusetts.
Yeah, they're going to say a check across the body. So
Lucy Davis will line it up from straight away. She drives in, has her stick deflected, but backup is there. Massachusetts keeps.
Great hustle play on the defense there to block that shot.
That Otterbach. That was Otterbach's case. Like
There's Ava Connaughton going to UMass Amherst. Shot kicked out there by Arpano again. Rebound comes here to the near side, kept by Massachusetts. I think Chloe Humphrey might have gone over the line there. They're straight
Correct.
box.
To call offsides on that.
4 minutes to go in this class of 2023 championship. The first of 4 championship games we'll have here for American Select Lacrosse on LSN today. Nice catch. And a finish. Massachusetts has the lead. Nice catch and score by Lucy Davis.
Lucy Davis does a great job. And again, when you look at the offense that Massachusetts is running, everything is from X. They clear it out, and it's a 2-man game. Lucy Davis gets a great feed and shoots low. So by the time Arpano picks it up, it's already in the cage. The high ones, as you see, she's been saving those all day. It's these down low that she just can't get to. And obviously, you go non-stick side, low like that. That's an impossible shot to save regardless.
So Lucy Davis has her first. 4 different goal scorers for Massachusetts so far today. And they have a 4-3 lead. So a strong run here for Massachusetts as Connecticut had jumped out to that early advantage. A whistle off the draw.
And now you see, Massachusetts making some adjustments. They're starting to win these draws now, Trav.
And as we know, you start winning some draws and it can completely change the game.
Correct. It just changed the whole outlook of the game.
3 goals in a row here for Massachusetts. Little Hancock going one-on-one. And she
that was
draws
obstruction.
Shooting space.
Correct. And you saw right there, the defender, Morgan Massey, just got caught, in between guarding the girl behind the cage and the shooter.
Hancock fakes the pass, shoots it wide. Backup is there, and we've got another whistle.
She was fouled on the shot, so they're going to let her shoot again. So a lot of people say, oh, she got the shot off, it shouldn't have been a retake. But if the penalty affects the shot, then you're able to shoot again.
Another opportunity. This one bounces up over. I think Arpano might have gotten a piece of that. The backup there for Massachusetts, though.
Yeah, I believe Arpano kicked that one out.
O'Keefe. Both her and her sister committed to Dartmouth. They've had a nice game so far as that shot just over the bar.
The sisters work really well together.
Yeah, you get the built-in practice partner.
Bragging rights at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Katie Woolen. That'll restart here. Massachusetts takes it under 90 seconds to go in this first half.
Let's see if they hold for the last shot. So they'll either go up 1 or up 2 if they're, patient.
Woolen feeds. Davis tracks it down again. Now Kanat. Got a whistle there inside as O'Keefe was trying to navigate things, and we have a timeout.
Oh, okay, so they give them 1 timeout a half, probably, in this. That's a good thing. So they're going to take this timeout with 50 seconds left and come up with that one play. That's the money play, we call it.
Find whatever your best play is, you save it for these situations.
Absolutely. And you don't want to, you're up by 1 right now. You have the momentum. You have the ball. So why even give Connecticut a chance to go in at halftime with any momentum by, not scoring here, and giving them an opportunity to maybe tie the game.
So we'll see what Massachusetts draws up here in the timeout. See a couple of UMass commits on this Massachusetts roster. It's actually hard for me not to say UMass when I keep saying Massachusetts, but they've got a new coaching, new head coach, and Janet Drummond taking over that program. But they have had a strong run in the Atlantic 10 over the last several years.
And they have, and they have another good recruiting class coming in this year, and they're looking to just get out of that conference championship and start to make some noise now in the NCAA.
been a perennial top 25 team over the last 5-10 years. They just actually added Aurora Cordingley as an assistant coach, so that's a big win for that Massachusetts program. We not only saw what Aurora did in college at Maryland, but then what she did during the World Championships for Team Canada.
Oh, she was unbelievable. I mean, and I had watched her at Hopkins all those years and thought she was great. Then you get to Maryland and just at a whole nother level. I mean, unbelievable. That's a great pickup by UMass.
Yeah, and it just seemed like the confidence for her after that year at Maryland. She was a Tour-Ton finalist, just went through the roof. And now with Dana Dobie, though, I mean, you can never count Dana Dobie out to coming back for another World Championships, but it seems like she may be one of those next people, along with an Erica Evans, to kind of take over that Canadian program. Without a doubt.
And I can easily see Dana staying on part of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I don't know if she could be she can only go in those man-up situations. Just put her in the middle of the 8-meter and feed her the ball.
I'll tell you what, after what she did during these World Championships, I wouldn't doubt it. She was unbelievable.
She was amazing. Fountain of youth.
Lucy Davis feeds inside, ball loose. Davis tracks down the ground ball, still loose. And it's Connecticut who comes up with it. Time
so
winding.
Interesting. And so Connecticut will call their timeout now. And, Travis, when we think about it, so here you are, exactly what we talked about. UMass, you have an opportunity to hold the ball for the last shot, not give any momentum to Connecticut, and instead they force a pass into the middle of the 8-meter that makes an unforced turnover. And now Connecticut has an opportunity to go into halftime, possibly with a tie game.
About 30 seconds left. With Connecticut, with about 30 seconds left, what do you, as a coach, try to draw up if you're going to get the ball around midfield coming out of this timeout?
What you draw up is everybody touch the ball with 15 seconds left. You give the ball to Chloe Humphrey and tell everybody to get out of the way. I mean, that's what I would do. In all honesty, and you have that one kid that when the whole defense runs at Chloe, she can pop in for a draw and dump. But honestly, she's your money player. She's your money kid. That's who I would draw the play up for.
Seeing the North Carolina commit already with a pair of goals today, leading the way for Connecticut, who led 3-1 in this game, but 3 unanswered goals by Massachusetts has Massachusetts team in a 1-goal lead as we head into halftime.
Yeah, it's always, Travis, it's always going to be that lack of patience that does it in. When you're an attacker, you have this desire and this ability to always be aggressive and go to goal. But there are times where you just need to kill clock and be a little smarter than that.
By the way, we will have another Connecticut team here in the Class of 2024 championship game coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Time as they beat the Long Island team in...
My team.
Yeah, sorry, Tracy.
That's okay.
11-10 in that semifinal.
Oh, my Lord.
Heartbreaker.
My Long Island girls. That is a lot of my Yellow Jacket kids are on that team. Oh, so sad. But that I told you, that 24 Connecticut team was amazing.
So we'll see them coming up as Connecticut here in the Class of 2023. One more chance here before half. Katie Bloomer with it. Nolan. 3 seconds left, feeds inside, backhand shot just wide. Oh, that would have been spectacular. But it goes just wide, and so it's Massachusetts who has a 1-goal lead here at halftime of this Class of 2023 championship game for American Select Lacrosse. Second half action in a bit, but for now it's halftime here on LSN. Massachusetts up 4-3. Halftime here in Delaware from the American Select Lacrosse Class of 2023 championship game. Massachusetts up 4-3. Travis Eldridge and Tracy Weiner back with you. And let's take a look at some of these highlights, Tracy. Chloe Humphrey starting off the scoring in style. She had a couple in that first half.
Well, she is the human highlight reel. I mean, she's going to be fun to watch for years and years and years when you watch her play. Love it. I mean, just all over the place. Give her the ball. Everybody else get out of the way. Let me do my thing.
but Massachusetts responded with some highlights of their own. The BTB goal there for O'Keefe, and Massachusetts ended the half on a 3-goal run, and they lead 4-3 here at halftime. And we will have second half action here in a minute, but for now we step aside. Second half action here for the Class of 2023 Championship when we come back on LSN. Connecticut and Massachusetts teams coming back out onto the field as we get ready to start this second half here at the Class of 2023 Championship game here at the American Select Lacrosse event. Both these regions well represented, as we now know the Class of 2024 Championship game. It'll be Connecticut and Maryland. That game will broadcast for you 11 a.m. Eastern time right here on LSN. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because that should be a terrific matchup as well.
Absolutely. I mean, two of the strongest teams out there when you look at it. You know, a lot of those high school kids, again, in the top schools, the McDonoughs of the world, the Dariennes of the world, playing for like the Grizzlies and M&D. I mean, just an amazing group of athletes in these age groups, and trying to get the scoop on my 24 team and how they did. They only lost by 1, so I know it was quite a game.
Obviously a big recruiting summer for that Class of 2024, soon to be high school juniors, just before the official start of recruiting comes up for them starting September 1st. So this is obviously a big final stretch here this summer for those players.
Yes, and then, you know, they have that Elite 8 tournament, as you know, where that's at midnight on August 31st.
Just,
so
you know.
September 1st. Yeah, it just keeps on rolling, Trev.
Oh, it never stops, Tracy, as Massachusetts picks up that loose ball, and they'll get the first possession offensively of this second half.
I like how slow and steady Mass has been. You know, they just keep going at it at their own pace and their own style. They don't get rattled.
They've got a lot of contributions across the board. 4 different goal scorers for Massachusetts so far. A lot of assisted goals as well. This is Annie O'Keefe, who has a goal and an assist so far. Looking inside. Fake flip, and now she'll give it up.
But again, they run everything from behind, always leaving 2 back. Everybody else clears out. Plenty of green space. Nobody really clogs up the 8-meter.
So interesting to see the different strategies for each one of these regional teams, and you know what their coaching staff decides to try to run.
Well, it depends. You know, are you getting your scoring from your midfielders primarily, or from your attackers?
Oh, nice spin move and a score. Allie Patron spins and wins, makes it 5-3.
Yeah, Patron makes a nice move there, and then when she realizes that her defender lost her footing on that, now all of a sudden she gets aggressive and goes to the cage. And I like that, you know, having awareness of what's going on around you. So you'll see here, you know, she makes the move, sees the defender goes, and it's right down Broadway. As soon as she changes direction, right there, that's when the defender loses her footing.
Stick that foot in the ground and
slide out from under you.
Yeah, unbelievable move. Out of Burlington, Massachusetts, headed to Bucknell in a couple of years. Back to the draw circle. We've seen Molly Driscoll have some success here for Massachusetts. This time going up against MJ Santa Barbara, and it's Massachusetts who wins the draw.
Yeah, she's figured it out for sure. And, you know, the possessions are just adding up now for Massachusetts.
Another possession here. You know, it's so interesting, Tracy. We look back last year, we had a chance to do these championship games, and we had all different regions winning. We had New Jersey win one, Connecticut, right, Maryland, and I think it's so cool to see the diversity of talent in all these different age groups. You got matchups of different regions facing off in these championship games.
Well, and that's the beauty behind, you know, Charlie Schulberg's selection process of this event. You know, Charlie made it clear that the college coaches in the Division 2 and 3 and arbitrary people would be selecting so that he couldn't, really overload these groups. So these kids are truly at the tryout who was determined to be the most talented players, not based upon who was selecting, so to speak. So I think it was just genius on his part to set it up this way.
It's a nice save by the new goalie there for Connecticut, Isabella Crawley taking over. Saw Rebecca Arpano have a nice first half, and now Crawley takes over here for the second, and she comes up with the stop.
She's had a very nice game.
Now in goal here for Massachusetts is Pauline Veen out of Brookline. Veen a little wide for Humphrey, but Connecticut keeps. Opportunity here, streaking through for the score. All the way through comes Ryan Hapgood, and she gets Connecticut to get back within one.
So sometimes in the confusion, good things happen, right? Sometimes it looks like a field hockey game breaks out, and sometimes it looks like you get an advantage. On this particular play, like you said, it was an errant pass to Humphrey, picked up, and again, the defenders are already occupied, just streaks down the middle of the field and really just buries the shot. I mean, good ball position by Hapgood.
Lost her goggles in the process. Out of South Darien, Connecticut. She's headed to Dartmouth as well. Got a bunch of Dartmouth commits in this class of 2023 championship game.
Dartmouth is really doing what they need to do. And I mean, honestly, they are bringing in quite the recruiting class as well. These coaches are busy. We see them all summer long, and they're really, really working their tails off for their programs.
Fight for this draw. Battle that it'll be won by Connecticut. Good hustle play. Now Humphrey has to get through all sorts of traffic, and she does just that. Some terrific moves.
Well, and not just moves. So she has the foot speed trap, she has the body control, and she has the stick control. Those are all things that honestly can't be taught, and that's what makes her so special.
So Humphrey lines up a free position opportunity here. Drives right in and goes top corner. That was a great angle to get a look at that shot. Humphrey's got a hat trick.
She does, and just flips that by, and I think that's the speed and the power of her shots, because that's a stick side high shot, and she was still able to put that by the goaltender. I mean, she's got the center hash, so she can go anywhere. And I think the goalie was leaning towards maybe she was going to go. Oh, the goalie looks like she's lefty, Trav. Did you see that? Right. Yep. So she goes non-stick side high. All right, good for you, Chloe Humphrey, for recognizing that before I did.
Yeah, right. Good placement. That's why she's headed to North Carolina. She's smart too.
Right, and I'm announcing games. I get it.
By the way, Dartmouth, Alex Frank, their head coach, who took over just a couple of seasons ago. And as Danielle Spencer went out to Stanford, who had helped really rejuvenate that Dartmouth program, and Alex Frank has kind of picked up where Spencer left off.
Yeah, now that, with all the COVID restrictions and everything gone, I think you're going to see the Ivy League really become one of the stronger conferences in women's lacrosse.
Absolutely. I mean, how about Yale last year? They really had a resurgent season.
They have. I mean, Erica, and I'll always call her LeGros, even though she's Bamford. She does a great job. She has a tremendous staff. But, I mean, just the consistency in the Ivy League. UPenn is always strong. Princeton's always strong. Now you have Dartmouth. And I just think that, and Harvard.
Cornell.
Correct. You just keep going through it. And all these teams, they battle each other. They're battle-tested by the playoffs.
There's another free position for Chloe Humphrey. She's been virtually automatic. Drives in. This one just wide.
Yep, she had a little more pressure on that angle than the last few.
Back up there for Connecticut, though, and Stella Nolan triggers it back in.
This game could easily come down to the last possession, Trev.
Yeah, all tied up at 5. About 9 minutes gone by in this second half.
And we don't talk enough about the defense. We keep talking about the offense, but when it's only 5-5 in a championship game of a tournament like this, the defense is doing their job.
Hapgood streaks through, but checked just at the last second. Might have saved a goal. Kate Evitable keeps it alive, and now Nolan from behind the cage. Another opportunity here for Connecticut in those white uniforms. Streaking through and burying it is Kaylee Somers. The Stanford commit gives Connecticut the lead back.
Yeah, she looks like a Danielle Spencer type, doesn't she? Big and tall like Danielle, blonde. She's difficult. You know, you watched her drive, and the only thing that could have happened was a foul. I mean, and she's just so big, so strong, and the defenders had trouble bodying up against her. You see here, once she beats her first defender, she just drives right through the rest, and that's just a big, strong move.
Terrific stuff from Somers. Her first goal, native of Fairfield, Connecticut. And Connecticut has the lead back. Trailed 5-3. Now they score 3 in a row. Talked about lacrosse being a game of runs. That is certainly the case here today.
Correct. It's all about draw control and possession.
Somers goes right back to take the draw, matched up against Cameron Trevize. Speaking of Cornell, she's a Cornell commit from Massachusetts. And she picks up the draw control.
That's a big draw win right there because, you know, you kind of stop Connecticut's flow.
Taking all the momentum back, but now Massachusetts an opportunity. Got Lucy Davis there behind the cage. O'Keefe. Now back up top to Lil Hancock. Hancock beats her defender back to the left hand, and she goes up high. That's her first goal of the day, and Massachusetts ties it up.
And that's an impressive goal by Hancock. You know, she sees that the right side is fully covered, and the only thing that she can do is put the stick in her left hand. And not only does she use her left hand, but she places it perfectly. And you'll see here, so she makes her move, and right there realizes, I got to go left. I got to go lefty. My right side is completely closed off.
And that's some of the next level stuff of,
Correct.
Okay, you know, maybe I want to shoot this right-handed, but it's not going to be nearly the angle I could get it if I switch.
Correct. And what is a higher percentage shot? And that's the whole key to being a strong attacker, is giving yourself an opportunity to get high percentage shots.
Somers and Driscoll at the draw circle. This one won by Driscoll. We've been talking about Molly Driscoll, the BC commit, a bunch as well. She's been terrific at the draw circle.
Absolutely. I think her and Humphrey will get to know each other well over the next few years.
Yeah, that could be a matchup we see for years to come.
Correct.
Driscoll looking for a cutter inside, nobody home. Now sends it behind. This is Alexa Kenny.
You know, once you're up by a goal or two in the second half of a game like this, Trav, you'll see the little let's kill some clock, pass it around. No one's in a stall, of course, but they're in no rush either.
It's Alexandra Blake, Northwestern commit, number 2 for Massachusetts. This, yeah, you mentioned this next goal is really big in this game.
Correct.
About 12 minutes to go. Patron, she has a goal already. Here's Kella McGrail. Ball on the turf, but she'll track it down.
So you know in the back of your mind as the coach right now that as soon as this goal is scored, whoever scores next, it's going to be a timeout on the field. And then you can really set it up if you're Massachusetts, if you go up here by a second goal with maybe about 10 minutes to go, depending on how much time they run off here, and come up with a real strong game plan moving forward.
Driscoll stutter steps, draws the slide. She is hounded by Connecticut defenders, and a takeaway. Morgan Massey out of Darien, Connecticut, now brings it across midfield.
Wow, so on that play, you know, you get double teamed, you try to back out of it, but, you know, one of her mates had to come and pop out and help her out and help get her out of out of that little tight double. What a great redefend, though, by Connecticut on that.
So Connecticut gets the possession now, tied at 6. We near 11 minutes to play. Ellie Burdick, another Dartmouth commit. She beats her defender. Streaking in, shooting space call, a free position coming.
Big, strong moves. You see these girls getting a goal really are super aggressive.
Burdick lines it up straight away. Drives in, just wide, but a backup is there. Evitable. Back around the top here. Somers has it checked. Ball loose, and Massachusetts picks it up.
What a great back check on that. As soon as Somers put her stick, and again, you see it right there as well, same thing. As soon as these girls relax their hands, the defense is right on the stick.
Here's an opportunity, unsettled, and a score. Massachusetts cashes in. Alexa Kenny with her first goal. End-to-end action as Massachusetts goes back out on top by 1. End-to-end action, Annie O'Keefe feeding Kenny. Massachusetts back on top. Down the stretch we go here in the Class of 2023 Championship on LSN. What a game we have here in this Class of 2023 Championship of American Select. 7-6, Massachusetts leads over Connecticut. Travis and Tracy back with you. Start of a big day of lacrosse. Remember, stay tuned. Class of 2024 Championship coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern. Connecticut versus Maryland, the matchup for that one. And hopefully we'll get as good of a game as we're getting here in the first game of the day.
I'm pretty sure that we will. And again, Trav, I've been watching these teams all week. So much talent out there. I mean, and the girls are battling and enjoying every minute of it. You know, it's just such a fun event to be a part of.
I mean, it really is the next generation of college stars we're seeing here on display in Delaware. I mean, we talk about all the different commits we've had in this game. Players
Correct.
that we're going to be talking about for years to come.
I always say, Trav, you're watching the future Final Four, right?
It's, yeah, it has that kind of feel here. Some high-level lacrosse as Connecticut wins a very important draw as we're under 10 minutes to go. They trail by 1. Humphrey streaking in. She scored, but I think we have a whistle before the shot.
Okay, and again, that is a different rule in high school than in college. So if the shot's already taken, they let the play on.
So Humphrey, free position, shoots wide.
And because basically on a play like that, you take away a goal for a penalty. And that gives the advantage to the defense instead of the kid that was penalized.
So Humphrey back to work. She was looking for her 4th goal of the day. Already 3 of them for the Carolina commit. Back to work here, goal line extended. She gets into the middle and it scores. So the first one gets waved off. She says, no worries, I got this. Her 4th of the day, and we're tied at 7.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at that timeout, you know, the play was, Chloe's our first option, give her the ball, everybody get out of the way. If you can get open, she'll give it to you. But if she can get to the goal, she's going to goal. She's their money player. Great inside move, and makes sure that she doesn't step in the crease. Just great awareness, field awareness by her is what I'm most impressed with. And shooting around the goal. You see how she gets her stick out there, right, Trav?
Yeah.
And really just shot it around the goalie.
Yeah, that's a next level move.
Correct.
So here we go, about 8.5 minutes left, all tied at 7. Humphrey had a chance in that draw. A whistle will give it to Connecticut. So they get the possession back here. It has been a game of runs. We've seen each of these teams go on 3-goal runs. They've been trading goals here in the last couple of minutes. See if Connecticut can take the lead again. This is O'Keefe inside. The fake is saved down low. Loose ball in front. Picked up by Connecticut. A nice save there inside. Paul Levine. But this one gets by. It's Somers going up top. Her second, and Connecticut back up by 1.
I really love how Somers uses her size to protect not just her body, but her stick as well. She's really difficult to check, and she's really difficult to defend. You'll see as she's driving here, you know, just getting where she is right there, using her body now. A little spin move, and then just uses that shoulder to keep the defender off of her.
So the Stanford commit with a pair here in the second half. Now Connecticut has the edge, and this becomes an important draw for Massachusetts.
Correct. And time becomes an issue.
Remember, no shot clock here, so if Connecticut gets possession, they can take a couple of minutes off the clock.
As they should, by the way.
Yeah, you got to play the rules.
Correct. Use them to your advantage.
Loose ball on that far side, out of bounds, off of Massachusetts. And so Connecticut wins that draw, and they can take some time off the clock, up by 1.
And you see already the pace goes to a stop. At the restraining line, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stand here. Let's pull it out, ladies. Work the clock. I love it. So smart.
Time, yeah. As we tick under 6 minutes to play in this class of 2023 championship. All these players soon to be high school seniors. Massachusetts gonna have to, at some point here, likely pressure out a bit. But obviously you don't want to do it so much that you leave your defense exposed to an easy goal.
And that's what you're hoping for on the offensive end. You're going to keep it out wide, get those one-on-ones, and make the slide so far that they can't.
Feed inside, pretty pass and finish. Stella Nolan on the feed from Colette Quinn.
And you watch what happens on this play. So Colette Quinn is drawing attention because they need the ball, right? So Massachusetts needs the ball, so they're starting to send the doubles. And you just see Nolan realizes that it's her girl that is no longer in coverage, and so she just slides into that open space. But what's key here as well, no cradle, quick stick, boom. Goalie doesn't even have time to make the adjustment. It's just a pass and shot, right? Pass, shot. You know, so many girls will catch that, cradle it, and then the goalie can get on them or the defense can slide. But Stella makes the correct play on that.
Nolan, the Michigan commit out of New Canaan, Connecticut. She's got her first of the day, and Connecticut is up by 2. Under 5 minutes to go. Massachusetts needs a draw.
You know, I had an opportunity to watch New Canaan play, and what a talented team. Holy cow. They had a tremendous season in Connecticut.
Yeah, then New Canaan and Darien dueling it out for that state championship in Connecticut.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, 2 terrific programs. How about Chloe Humphrey?
She's impressive. I have to be honest with you. You just watch her play, and here we've only watched it for about an hour, and you can just tell right away that she's special.
Yeah, you see exactly what Jenny Levy probably saw in recruiting her and said, yeah, we need her to come down to Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they probably saw it in 8th grade. Obstruction of shooting space.
Here's Ryan Hapgood. Reposition opportunity.
If she scores here, this could be a real issue for Massachusetts. When she decides not to go to goal.
And take some time off the clock instead. Now Massachusetts has to pressure out. It's delayed whistle.
Excuse me.
Colette
well, on all
Quinn
these too,
it.
you know, these whistles on these shots, you know, the 8 minutes, the clock still keeps ticking, Trav.
Yep. Yeah, running time as Quinn goes low and it bounces in. Quinn's second goal of the day. With about 3 minutes to go, Connecticut is up by 3.
And that could be, you know, the nail in the coffin right there. And you see everybody walking back a little slower now. Nobody's hustling to the circle. Nice low shot, up by 3. Clock is running. So if you're going to use 20 or 30 seconds just to redraw, like, that's smart. You know, now we'll sub. We'll get some kids in and out. You know, there's a whole mindset that goes into this in the last, like, 3 minutes of a game that you're winning.
Clock will stop for the final 2 minutes here of the half.
Yeah, if I'm coaching this game, I'm already yelling at the officials, like, come on, tell them to set it up. You've wasted 30 seconds.
Tracy, you never yell at the officials.
I know, I try not to, you know. I just don't want to be that person.
Humphrey again on the draw. She came flying off the circle to grab that loose ball.
To me, she's the most valuable player in this game. You know, I know we don't have to, you know, obviously pick that. But in all the drama and all the chaos, when Massachusetts was making their move, Connecticut needed something good to happen, the ball always ended up in Chloe's stick. You know, that's how you know who your go-to kid is that when everything starts to unravel and the chaos could be occurring, it's who's the calming force, and it is Chloe Humphrey.
She gives it up here. Ellie Burdick flips it around.
And I would imagine that Massachusetts might not have a lot of gas in the tank. It has been 3 days of tough, high-level, in-the-heat competitive lax.
It probably feels good to. They're probably feeling good to play at 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. today. Temperature is still in the 70s when we started this game in Delaware. We'll be back up around 90 degrees later on this afternoon.
The dog days of summer.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes, some years you get a little bit of relief. There has not been a lot of relief during this recruiting period here in July. It has been hot all up and down the East Coast.
Correct, but even 90 is better. You know, I remember back in the day playing in 101, you know, and you just didn't even want to show up. You know, you didn't want to get out from under the tent.
You start sweating as soon as you walk outside.
Exactly. As soon as you walked out of the hotel to your car,
yeah,
you were done.
Yeah, it begins and it just doesn't stop the rest of the day.
Right, just keep changing your T-shirt, hoping that you had enough. You know, your socks are like, ugh, so, terrible.
Under 30 seconds, Connecticut can run the rest of the clock out if they'd like. Still a Nolan running away. She had a goal today. Colette Quinn had a nice game, as did Kaylee Summers with a pair of goals for Connecticut. Both here in the second half as they came into this half down by 1, but a strong finish. And Connecticut will be your class of 2023 champs here at American Select Lacrosse. The goal will count. One more to add on for Connecticut as Ellie Burdick gets her first of the day. And 11-7 your final. Connecticut the champs here in the class of 2023.
What a great effort by the entire Connecticut team, I'm going to say. You know, although Chloe Humphrey was the one doing a lot of the damage, the defense really clamped it down in the second half. And I just feel like from top to bottom, you know, Connecticut was just strong for the entire 50 minutes.
A really, really strong performance from Connecticut. They are your champs. We will step aside. We'll hand out some hardware when we come back. Connecticut winners 11-7 here in the American Select Lacrosse Class of 2023 championship game. Travis and Tracy back with you here in Delaware. Connecticut, the champs here in this Class of 2023 championship game for American Select Lacrosse. About to hand out some hardware, Tracy. This is what you compete all weekend for, all week for. You get the opportunity here to take home some hardware.
Absolutely, and I love it, you know, and the girls get all excited about it. They take a million pictures, and you don't think that they get excited, but they do. And we like giving this stuff out as well. We like spoiling the girls. I mean, for us, that's the favorite part of it. I'm looking on the monitor right now, and you see the staff. I see Luke and Morgan's daughter. You know, Morgan Cook is amazing, and the staff that I get the chance to work with all summer long. Lindsay and Luke and everybody that Charlie puts together, they're just, they're just such a big part of making everything smooth and making this experience for these young ladies so much fun, and everybody loves the hardware, Trav. I always say that, and you'd be surprised that sometimes I visit the dorm rooms of the kids, and when they show us their pictures or whatever, their stuff is still on their walls, all of their club stuff, all of their, little awards that they get. The girls are really proud when they reach this level and they have that accomplishment.
Yeah, and this is such a cool event too, because maybe some of the players from your high school team or your club team, but maybe there's players that you play against all the time that you have an opportunity to play with throughout this event because you're bringing regions together. It's really cool.
Absolutely. It's so much fun, and the amount of pictures that get taken, the amount of bonding that goes on, the team dinners, the little dance-offs, all the things that girls love to do.
A lot of TikTok videos being created throughout this week,
I would imagine. I'm going to tell you that you're 100% correct.
Are you going to get you on TikTok soon, Tracy?
I'm not sure. My age is TikToking. That's about the only thing at this point in my life, Travis.
So we're going to get a nice photo here, and the team will line up, get some swag as the class of 2023 champs. Remember, stay with us, 11 a.m. Eastern time, about 15 minutes from now, we will have the class of 2024 championship game. Connecticut represented in that one as well, be Connecticut and Maryland here from American Select Lacrosse.
It's going to be a great game. And Trav, I will make a deal with you. If you guys get me back into studio, you and I will do a TikTok.
All right, yeah, we'll see if we can make that happen. Got the team photo, all the parents coming out as well.
There you go, and that's what it's about. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. There's Kristen Porcella, one of my other favorite humans, giving out the awards. Kristen was the former assistant coach at Loyola, and she was an All-American at Loyola University, U19 coach. Just an all-around tremendous human being. But look at the parents, how excited they are.
Look over here, this way. You gotta look to this side and then look to that side.
Yeah, correct. Girls, don't move yet, girls.
So everybody will have their name called. They'll get some swag here. It was a really all-around performance. You saw both goalies for Connecticut have a strong game. Chloe Humphrey obviously led the way with 4 goals. A couple of goals for each Colette Quinn and Kaylee Somers. Really all-around performance that we saw the best that Connecticut had to offer here today, and they come away with the win.
They do. They get the ball, they get the T-shirt, they get the memories, they get it all, and the coaches, the coaches get so excited and they feel a sense of pride as well.
And you know what, Tracy? I did my homework. This is a Connecticut team that lost in the championship game to New Jersey in this class of 2023 event last year.
Correct.
And so they come back, and this time they win it.
Absolutely, and I know the Jersey team, I was getting those texts that they were so disappointed, they wanted to repeat, but lost in the semifinals.
Yeah, that was another terrific game. Connecticut beating New Jersey 9-8 in the semifinals earlier this morning. Pennsylvania, the other semifinalist, losing to Massachusetts in the other semi.
Great games. I mean, the competitiveness, and like you said, even going into the 24 game, Connecticut only beat Long Island by 11-10, so you knew that was a good game as well.
Yeah, close games across the board here, especially once you get to the semifinals. Here's Kaylee Somers getting her T-shirt. She had a terrific second half for Connecticut.
Somers had a great game, I thought. Just really turned it on when she had to.
Here's Chloe Humphrey. Feeling we will be saying her name for years to come as she heads down to the University of North Carolina. Not this year, but next year. Stella Nolan, a Michigan commit. She had a nice game as well. She scored.
Look at the smiles, though. For me, that's what this is about. You know, this is why we do all these. And now these girls are also saying, I am on summer vacation. So I can put my stick down. And I always tell them, you know, girls, I know that the sport still means a lot to you and you got to prepare or whatever, but put your stick down for a week, 10 days. Go be 16. Go be 17 years old, you know, and enjoy a piece of your summer right now. And you know, the drive back to Connecticut right now is going to be just a little happier. You know, maybe they'll stop at Wawa one last time on the way home.
you know the way to my heart, Tracy. You got to stop at Wawa.
I always have to. You know, I have my own little. You know, I did see a Hardee's near there too. We don't really have Hardee's on Long Island, Trav. And I thought for a hot minute, but you know, I didn't want to waste my calories on both Wawa and Hardee's.
Yeah, stick to one or the other.
Correct.
Wawa's my spot. You get a good sandwich, a soft pretzel, good to go.
Correct. And Wawa should probably be a sponsor of these tournaments by now, because I think we sell out, you know, all the waters and food around Wawa for the longest time that we're in the area.
Well, for now, Connecticut will celebrate, and we will say goodbye. We'll be back with you in about 9 minutes for that Class of 2024 championship game between Connecticut and Maryland. But for now, we close out the Class of 2023 championship. Connecticut winners over Massachusetts here from American Select Lacrosse. We've got more action coming up here on Lax Sports Network.